Welcome to Blue Wave Radio, episode E1-4. This is an extract from a discussion with Councillor Bosman Grobler.
Then also on quality service or on service delivery, the DA has identified that the Department of Human Settlement is very far behind on the service targets. The need of an individual to own a home or to have a place to stay cannot be debated. It is very important, and the DA has come up with a plan to say, how can we eradicate the list or the waiting lists on people waiting for homes and houses. Now, firstly, there's a few things that you can do, and you need to identify how different people will qualify for these specific benefits. But the DA said, firstly, you can stay on the list for your RDP or your gap housing, and it's important that that list is transparent so that you can see where it moves, you can see where you are on the list, and that people are not parachuted into the list and thereby keeping you at the bottom.
I couldn't agree more. This list should be on a website, and you would see you are now number 444 in the list, and the next day if you are 445 there's a problem.
Absolutely. You should move closer to one and not further
away from one.
Yeah. The second way in which we can eradicate the backlog on housing is to give a home voucher, which means that you will receive a serviced stand and title deed from government, and then you can use your voucher to buy building material and build your own home, because a lot of families are able to build if they are just given the means to do that, and they are willing to do the labor, but they just need the space and the means. So the DA says, let's introduce a voucher system so that families that are willing and able can build their own houses. And then the last development that the DA has identified, and this is maybe in your economic hubs where there's a lot of work opportunities and people stay far away from the opportunities, is to convert high-rise buildings into places where people can live, which means that you are closer to your economic opportunities, you spend less time on the road, and you can actually focus on making a living.
This is quite an interesting point you're making, and I'll bring a practical example. Is the town we stay in, the traditional location, if you want to call it that, is on the far side of town, on the opposite side of town from the industrial area. Now there's a small housing development close to the industrial area, and to rent a place close to the industrial area is exactly 500 Rand more expensive than living in the traditional area, and the cost of a taxi traveling up and down is exactly 500 Rand. And you can claim that it's apartheid's fault, and you can claim that it's a whole bunch of things' fault. The fact of the matter is our current infrastructure causes people at the lower end of the economic spectrum to spend a lot of money on transport.
Yes.
And that also impacts on service delivery, because more cars on the road, more damage to the road, more traffic, more time wasted. I don't think that anyone has spent any time in the past 20 years looking at the real integration of housing, work opportunities. I'll finish with the last idea. If you go look at a city like Hong Kong, which is built on high rises, people don't leave the building for 6 months. The school's in the building, the work's in the building, the shopping mall is in the building. It's not an ideal lifestyle, but everything that is required to make a life is situated in one building. And I'm not saying that we should build high-rises to that effect, but if you can just move people closer to their work and their schools, then obviously they get a better quality life because they're spending an hour less a day doing something.
Yes, I can't agree with you more. Quality of life will improve if you can spend less time on the road. And then, speaking of quality of life, the DA really believes that to make a difference in somebody's life, you need to give that person the opportunity to earn money. Because once you earn your living, there's a lot of benefits with that apart from just earning an income. There's a lot of self-pride, there's a lot of self-development, and with that comes a lot of other advantages as well. So the DA says, obviously we need quality schooling, but once you're out of school, what do we do then? Because we've got a lot of people that finish their grade 12s, but then after school sit and there's no opportunities. So firstly, the DA will introduce a voluntary national service, a 1 year where you will earn an income and where you will develop a skill, and this will be available for school leavers. So in this year you will actually earn income, but more important, you will get the experience in whatever industry you choose, which means that after the year you'll have 1 year experience, which makes you more employable and which have given you the taste of what it is like to earn an income. So we believe that that will encourage people to find work after that. The second thing we then need to do is to help these people to find work. We need to create job centers to do that. At the job center you will have people that will help you with the proper documentation, drawing up a CV. There will be internet where you can search for job opportunities available, and the job center will really help you as a job seeker to find the job. The question is always, how do you create more jobs? Is it government's responsibility to employ more people, or is it government's responsibility to ensure that there's an economic environment where jobs are created?
Where people can create their own jobs.
Absolutely, and the DA believes in the latter. The DA believes it's not government's responsibility to employ people, it's government's responsibility to create an environment where jobs are created. And the first thing we believe that needs to be done is it needs to be made very, very easy for businesses to open up. Your small, medium and micro enterprises needs to be it needs to be very easy to open up your own business. If you have got some entrepreneurial skills, it should be easy for you to use that. So we want to remove red tape, all the red tape when it comes to opening up a business, so that people can literally open up a business and then by that have the opportunity to create more employment for others as well. Because if you have a small or a medium enterprise, you will create jobs as well. And for every person that creates 1 or 2 extra jobs, that will lower the unemployment rate. So it's very important for us to remove blockaging when it comes to the opening up of businesses.
I think to continue on that point and on the red tape point, it's not just a question of red tape for opening businesses, it's red tape in life. We have mentioned it earlier. How long does it take to get a driver's license renewed? How long does it take to get a car registration? How long does it take to get
various examples?
Various examples. A simple example is, for some reason, every time you fill in a form, a policeman needs to stamp the copy. There's 2 hours of your day. Why can't the person behind the desk, whether it's the bank or the municipality or anyone, just say, have the stamp.
Yes, verify the information and carry on with your life.
Carry on with your life. Instead of driving across town to the cop shop, standing in a queue, getting a stamp, coming back, and having exactly the same experience again. And that counts for opening businesses, that counts for opening bank accounts, that counts for just about every aspect of life. And this follows on into another sphere of politics. Is the ANC obviously believes in big government, as big as possible. I think to some extent they'd be very happy if everybody worked for the ANC. Don't know who'd be working then, but that's their mantra, is grow the government. Now there's various political reasons for that. What is the DA's stance on government size?
Well, the DA has got a document that says we believe in 15 ministries, which in essence means that there will only be 15 ministers.
Mm-hmm.
I think currently we've got close to 40 ministers, but I'm not exactly sure about the figure. The fact is, ministers and ministries cost you a lot of money. So just by reducing that to 15 ministries will cut the salary bill in the cabinet to a quite sizable amount. And then we spoke earlier about services in municipalities, but that can be taken to departments in provincial government and departments in national government as well. There's a lot of services that government renders, which is not necessarily necessary for government to do it, which you can open up to the entrepreneurial market, whether it's removing of refuse bags, whether it's cutting of sidewalks, whether it's building of parks. And we can carry on with example after example in every department, schooling, housing, safety, roads, all of those can be privatized. And if you open it up to the market, you will have competitive bidding, and you're probably going to get better rand value for your.
And I think you're going to get much more creative solutions.
Absolutely.
Because a committee or a department cannot be creative. It's an impossible situation. They can implement things, yes, or they can run systems, yes, but they cannot be creative. The only people that can be creative is people that are facing with a problem, and it would be to his benefit to come up with a solution.
So in essence, the DA wants to make government as small as possible, make government a monitoring agent for projects, and ensure that the open market deliver these services.
Thank you for listening to Blue Wave Radio episode E1-4. For more information, please contact your Democratic Alliance representative.